Hello and welcome. Today, we're going through a 1981 psychological horror movie called Possession, a movie that was once banned in the US and UK. Mark is a spy who returns to his home in West Berlin after being on a mysterious espionage mission. Once he arrives, his wife Anna tells him she wants a divorce. She doesn't say why, but insists it's not because of someone else. Mark tries to reason with her but is unsuccessful. Later on at home, whilst they are lying in bed, Mark asks if she wants to make love. She tells him she doesn't. The following day, Mark meets with his superiors to talk about his espionage mission. Impressed, they want to rehire him, but Mark refuses their offer as he wants to spend more time with his family. Shortly after, Mark ends up leaving with payment from the job and returns home to find everyone has gone. Whilst looking out the window, he sees two soldiers on the Berlin Wall spying on him. After some time has passed, Anna calls him and tells him she had to think. Mark tries to reason with her again but she hangs up. Angry and confused, Mark goes through her things and finds a postcard from a man called Heinrich. Mark then calls Anna's friend, Margie, to find out what's been going on. Margie tells him Anna's been cheating on him for years. Mark begs for her help, but she hangs up immediately, and he's unable to get through again. Moments later, Anna calls, telling him the marriage is over. They argue about her infidelity, and Mark tells her to meet him so they can discuss custody over their child Bob. They meet at a cafe. Mark says he doesn't want to see Bob, as he thinks it will only make things worse. This annoys Anna, and they get into a massive argument. Mark becomes extremely angry and starts chasing her around the cafe until the staff stop him. Mark becomes depressed and goes on a destructive drinking spree over the next few weeks. After eventually recovering, he goes to visit his son Bob. To his horror, Mark finds Bob has been left alone and neglected. Anna eventually returns home and tries to make excuses, but Mark isn't having any of it and refuses to leave Bob alone with her. Mark tells her to break up with Heinrich. Upset, she begins attacking him before having a breakdown. Mark helps her and then puts her to bed so she can rest. Later on that night, Mark wakes up to find Anna gone. Moments later, Heinrich rings to let him know that she's with him. The next day, Mark takes Bob to school, where he meets with his teacher Helen, who looks just like Anna but with green eyes. Afterwards, Mark goes to Heinrich's apartment to confront him about the affair. Mark attacks Heinrich but gets badly beaten up. Shortly after, Mark comes home to find Anna has returned. They get into another argument and Anna slaps him. Mark asks her to do it again and she responds by laughing. He then proceeds to beat her and she leaves. He runs after her and sees a crazed look in her eyes. The following morning, Anna comes back acting very strangely. Whilst cutting meat with an electric knife, she uses it to slash her own neck. Mark patches her up and returns to the kitchen, where he uses the knife on his arm. Moments later, Anna returns and very calmly tells him she has to go now. Before leaving, she sees his wound and tells him it doesn't hurt. Mark watches her leave. Afterwards, Mark hires a private investigator to follow her around. The private investigator discovers that she's been staying at another apartment and gives Mark the address. The private investigator tries to enter the apartment, telling her he's the manager. Anna initially refuses, but he threatens to call the police. He inspects the rooms and tells Anna he'll need to check the bathroom. Anna tries to stop him by offering him a drink, but he refuses. Anna then smashes the wine bottle. The investigator enters the bathroom, where he sees a creepy, slimy tentacled creature in the bathtub. Whilst he's shocked, Anna kills him with the smashed wine bottle. The following day, the lover of the investigator, Zimmerman, goes to the apartment where he sees Anna cleaning the floor. He goes into her bedroom, where he sees his lover's dead body along with the tentacled monster. As he's gazing at the monster, Anna very calmly tells him he's very tired as they were making love all night. Angry, disgusted and shocked, he aims his gun at her and shoots. But Anna wildly attacks him, steals his gun, and then shoots him. Meanwhile, Mark plays a reel that's just been delivered. The video features Anna teaching her students ballet. She's very strict, and even makes some of her students leave in tears. Anna stares into the camera and says goodness is just a reflection of evil. Sometime afterwards, Anna returns to the apartment. Mark tells her he's horrified by her bizarre behavior and asks her to speak to him on the couch. Becoming more and more erratic, she tells him she's messed everything up and feels wounded and alone. She then recounts to Mark a horrific violent miscarriage she suffered in the subway whilst he was away. Mark tells her that for the first time, she looks vulgar to him and asks her to return her wedding ring, to which she obliges. As she's leaving, Mark asks if she would still walk all over him if he threw himself at her feet and yelped. She says yes. When he does it, she simply ignores him and leaves. Sometime afterwards, Heinrich visits Anna's apartment, where he discovers the tentacled creature along with dismembered body parts in the fridge. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, Anna stabs him. He manages to escape and call Mark. Mark tells him to bleed a while and that he'll be there as soon as he can. Mark visits the apartment right away, where he finds the dismembered body parts in the fridge. Horrified, he needs to take a breather, where he thinks up a plan with an evil grin on his face. Mark meets Heinrich at the bar, where he then murders him and proceeds to make it look like an accident in the toilet stall. He then sets Anna's apartment on fire before fleeing on Heinrich's motorcycle. Mark returns to his apartment, where he finds an injured Margie with her throat slashed by the elevator. He carries her to his bathroom where she dies. Anna helps him clean up before they make love. Afterwards, Anna tells Mark she killed Margie because she saw the body parts and tentacled creature. She then asks him for money. Mark tells her to wait at Margie's place whilst he sorts everything out. Once he's put the body in the boot of the car, he gets a phone call. It's Heinrich's mother asking why her son hasn't called her back. Mark tells her he's probably just forgot her number. She then tells him she found his corpse in the bar toilet and just wants to know where his soul is. He tells her maybe Anna knows, and reassures her he'll let her know when he finds out. After dropping Bob off at Helen's place and promising her he'll return, Mark goes to Margie's apartment. As he enters the building, he hears moaning, getting louder and louder. He enters the bedroom, where he sees his wife making love to the tentacled monster. Utterly traumatized, he leaves. Afterwards, Mark meets with Heinrich's mother and tells her he's found Anna. She lets him inside and concludes that Mark couldn't find her son's soul. She takes her own life by swallowing lots of pills. Mark stays with her until she dies. The next day, Mark sees even more soldiers spying on him. Out of nowhere, his former business associate appears and tries to pressure him to return, but Mark refuses. Mark heads to Marge's place but sees the police and his former associates outside the building. He gets into a taxi, puts a gun against the driver's head, and tells him to crash into the police car. As it's about to crash, Mark jumps out and begins shooting at them. He manages to get into his car, and as he's driving away, crashes into one of their vehicles, causing them to explode. We next see Mark driving Heinrich's motorbike at high speed. He loses control and falls off. Injured, he rushes into the building and climbs up the stairs. He sees Anna and a man below. Once Anna has caught up with him, she tells him it's finished. The monster reveals itself, a fully formed doppelganger of Mark. Mark raises his gun to shoot it, but he and Anna are gunned down by the many police below. A very injured Anna lies on top of Mark, kisses him, and then uses his gun to shoot herself. The doppelganger escapes through the roof. Afterwards, whilst Helen is babysitting Bob, the door rings. Bob begs her not to answer, but Helen ignores him. Bob rushes into the bathroom, where he lays in the bath, face down, drowning himself. Sirens, planes and explosions can be heard from the outside. As Helen goes to answer the door, the doppelganger's silhouette can be seen. All of a sudden, her eyes shine bright and then the credits roll. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.